I want to share what it means to provide enrichment, a question that many teachers, parents, and also students often grapple with. And I think that it's important to recognize that enrichment does not mean giving more or requiring more detail or even going to a higher level. That's something different. This is Zoe Brannigan-Pike. I am a teacher from Ontario, Canada, and I have had the most amazing experience of my life as a teacher, traveling the world, presenting at conferences, meeting some of the most fantastic instructional leaders. I'm an enrichment teacher, specifically for students who are identified as gifted or students who are identified with another exceptionality. We often refer to that as 2E. I am going to, as I think everyone should, remind myself to not refer to students as gifted first. They are students first. So you will notice that I will say students who are identified as gifted. Gifted is only one part of them. There are many other components that may define who they are, but it certainly does not have to be the giftedness. My main focus when working with students is looking at enrichment in their learning and looking at UDL. And I want to just emphasize again that enrichment for students who are identified as gifted isn't always about giving more or increasing the quantity or details. It's about deepening and broadening their thinking. It's a little tricky. Recognizing that not all gifted students excel academically is also key. These students might need more time. They might need clearer instructions. They may need instructions in different modes or methods. They may need additional support. And once that's provided, that can lead for those students to a very profound understanding and a deeper intellectual engagement. It often means that they don't need constant repetition. They just want to move on to the next thing. UNESCO and the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities by the United Nations both highlight the importance of adapting our curriculum to the needs of each child, including those who are identified with a giftedness through some sort of testing, of course. And it's an inclusive approach. It's essential that to catering to diverse requirements of the students who meet those gifted criteria. It may look different depending on the district, depending on the province, depending on the state, country, wherever you might be, and whatever program that you're working with. There's a significant amount of research that identifies that notes the needs of gifted students. Those students who are gifted. Exceptionalities include things like early identification and recognition, includes attention to specific difficulties, including motivation to learn, and it also focuses on the need or complex learning environments. It calls for a shift from traditional teaching methods to approaches that promote divergent and analytical thinking, and this may look different when students are younger. I've been teaching for almost 25 years, and a big part of that has been with students in the gifted program. It's also where I did my own research and thesis in understanding how to better serve students in it from an inclusive perspective. One study conducted by the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education, also referred to as OISE at U of T, found that tailored programs for students who are identified as gifted does significantly improve their academic, but also their emotional well-being, which is something that I'm very attuned to and have learned about the characteristics of this population who can have significant social emotional needs as well, not just academic. It brings me to an important question, and that how do we design teaching methods that are universally applicable and flexible enough to cater the needs of students with not just exceptionality that's gifted, but other exceptionalities as well. And it's something that I believe strongly that the methods, pedagogies, practices that I use in the program for these enrichment students can be transferred to other programs, including Tier 1 mainstream classrooms. So how do we create lessons, overall lessons, that serve as a starting point for all students, but also offer limitless exploration for those who demonstrate an aptitude for thinking at a higher level? So the solution lies in an education framework that offers a flexible approach for all. It's that idea of low floor, high ceiling. I first heard from Joe Bowler. It's the design of this is that there's an entry point for all students in your classroom, but you have provided an opportunity for there to either be no ceiling or a high ceiling, however you want to refer to it, allowing them they learn it, we scaffold, and then they are able to take it to the next level. It's very difficult to do that in a textbook or worksheets. So, it does take some different ways of thinking about education, including can they take whatever you're doing in math and apply it to an art concept, into a language concept, right? Looking at those transferable skills. I want to think about the enrichment of students that I often work with who are identified as gifted. It's not about giving them more work, not even about just saying add more details. It's about providing the right kind of intellectual stimulation and creative challenges. It's about recognizing and nurturing the potential that every one of those students has. And in this particular exceptionality, none of them are the same. And in fact, in every exceptionality, in every student, we're not the same. They're going to come with different passions and dreams and excitement, and their own family history is going to bring, and culture is going to bring a little bit of that into their learning. And so we need to make sure we have an environment that's culturally responsive to them. So in my next video, I am going to share an example of a low floor. Anyone can start it. High or non-existing ceiling that can be extended or enriched. It's just one example of how I'm teaching students to think about enrichment on their own terms, with their agency and their voice, rather than waiting for somebody else to say, here's the enrichment activity. I want them to see that they can have control over their learning. And so this particular activity is just a starting point. I think it takes everybody a different amount of time to learn how to just find their passions and go with it. And at age 9, 10, and 11, they're just learning how to do that. So I'm going to share, take a look at this next video when I finish it, and look at how you can use any of your lessons with a high floor, high ceiling, low floor, however you want to put it. Consider this with your own students. So thanks for watching. My apologies for some of the stumbles. I'm really trying to do this in a one take. And so here it was. Again, my name's Zoe. Please give me a shout, a follow, a comment. I think that collaboration and community is so essential. I've missed that a little bit with some of the Twitter community that I had way back, say 10 years ago. And so this is my attempt to try to draw in others. So I look forward to a collaboration with you as well.